Hello and welcome, everybody, to another episode of Last Week in Quantum. I'm your host, Bill Roth, self-proclaimed Silicon Valley marketing genius. This is the show where we review this week's news in the world of quantum computing and its impacts on the worlds of cybersecurity, AI, and more. And with us to discuss this week, Brandon Dennis, Director of Operations. Welcome, Brandon.
Hey, everybody.
And of course, luminary, no other than Dave Krauthamer, co-founder and CEO of QuSecure. Welcome, Dave.
Love the intro, Bill.
So last week, lots of news. Apple rolls out an update to iMessage, which will focus on decryption from quantum computers. There's a quantum computing breakthrough, materials related, and of course, some Google DeepMind news. Let's get started by talking to the experts. Brandon, tell us about what Apple has going on with Apple iMessage.
Yeah, out of Reuters.com, Apple rolls out iMessage upgrade to withstand decryption by quantum computers. The headline is Apple Inc. just rolled out a major update for its iMessage service by introducing the PQ3 cryptographic protocol. This move is all about ramping up defenses against the threat quantum computing poses to encryption, and this upgrade marks a big step toward a safer digital communication future, showing Apple's proactive approach in the ever-changing cybersecurity scene. Dave, I know you had a close eye on this one. What ways is Apple's approach to quantum resilient encryption influencing other tech companies and their data security strategies?
Yeah, hey, so I'm personally super excited about this because what they did and how they did it. Apple's taken a unique approach. A lot of people are like, why should I do this right now? Maybe I'll wait, et cetera, et cetera. But Apple's approach was just embedding it around classical crypto, like elliptic curve. So there's no risk, worst case, fall back on our existing architecture, which is what QSecure does. This is probably the biggest validation of post-quantum cryptography there is to date. When Apple does it in iMessage, it's hit the real time. So let's compare and contrast that to QSecure. This is the exciting part for me. Apple has created, a post-quantum linkage between iMessage when I'm on my iPhone or on my Apple computer. They own both sides, so it's pretty easy for them to kind of do it at the app level, one app. QSecure does something very similar in that we are wrapped around classical TLS. So the worst case that ever happens is you have what you have now, very little risk. But we do it network-wide, one pane of glass, orchestrated network-wide. So we give you kind of what Apple's doing, but for every element in your network with crypto agility. So we have agility on the asymmetric and symmetric side and key rotation. So really excited how they did it. And it's a huge validation for us, huge validation for the market. You're going to see people jump on board, and people are going to start taking this market really seriously.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave. Hey, folks, quick reminder, you can find all the links of the articles that we mentioned today in the show notes. And if you want weekly quantum updates, subscribe to our YouTube channel and podcasts on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and more. Stay up to date with the top news in quantum with Last Week in Quantum. Our next article has to do with a quantum computing breakthrough, materials related. Brandon, tell us more.
Yes, sir. Out of SciTech Daily, this amazing study from researchers at Penn State found a material mix that can boost a unique superconductivity crucial for the future of quantum computing. It's a big step forward, blending superconductivity, topological order, and their approach could make topological quantum computing more reliable and scalable. Dave, I know you got a story on this one, and I'm curious, how does the recent breakthrough in combining materials contribute to the reincarnation of Bill Gates?
Awesome question. You picked out this article, and it's probably the nerdiest article you can pick out, like out of any article, because it's just, this gets right down to some of the fundamentals of physics. So they've created these materials that can help us potentially prove out the existence of this particle called a chiral Majorana particle. Now, this is a mythical particle that the state of the particle is really, really good for a qubit. Now, Microsoft kind of bet the farm on this and topological computing, quantum computing early on. They're like, this is it. There's this mythical particle out there that we think exists. it was kind of envisioned by a gentleman named Ettore Majorana in 1938. He was the physicist that envisioned it, and Microsoft said this is the perfect particle for a qubit. Now, the relationship between Bill Gates is that Ettore Majorana boarded a boat in 1938 from Palermo to Naples and disappeared, never to be found again. So that's the reincarnation of Bill Gates and why Microsoft was full in. So we think it was Bill Gates was the reincarnation of Ettore Majorana. So really, really important. Topological computing, quantum computing is really a discipline and a field that had a lot of challenges because we can't find this particle. So these materials can help us lead to an environment where we can find and manage these Majorana particles. Then really, it's super exciting because they're largely noise free, or they have a different dynamic related to noise. So this opens a big way. And Ettore Majorana and a chiral Majorana. Remember that. That's going to be an important part of a particle that ushers in this new wave of topological computing, if they can find it.
Well, thanks, Dave. Last week was Quanvolutional, and Ettore Majorana is this week. Folks, can you get more information in a podcast? I think not. Our next question comes up. Some good news for Google on AI. Google DeepMind taps the power of its AI for quantum computing. Brandon, tell us a little bit more about that article.
Yeah, Google DeepMind is teaming up with Quantinuum, and they've made a big breakthrough in quantum computing by using their new AI model, which is called Alpha Tensor Quantum. They've slashed T-gate numbers for fault-tolerant quantum computers, and the partnership signals a shift toward more efficient quantum computing and shows how AI can help tackle tough challenges in quantum tech as well. Dave, really interested, what makes the collaboration between Google DeepMind and Quantinuum uniquely positioned to tackle the complexities of quantum computing?
Yeah, great question. First off, it's Google, right? So quantum TensorFlow is kind of this new capability. Well, it's not new. It's been around for a bit, but starting to be perfected. And we all want to see quantum. We talked about last week related to convolutional neural nets. There's things we can see significant speed up in the AI models around if we use quantum. So this kind of beginning around seeing the introduction of convolutional neural nets or quantum neural nets into a core application, a core AI application, is really, really important signal to the market that we're going to start seeing these technologies applied and vast improvements in speed up in our ability to use artificial intelligence. So when Google does it, we know it's really, really important. And hopefully this is kind of a signal to the broader AI market that we now have capabilities we can start introducing into these flows, into these AI material flows that get massive speed up and give us a really important leapfrog into AI at scale.
Well, thanks very much, Dave. And folks, that's all for today's show. I'm your host, Bill Roth, self-proclaimed Silicon Valley marketing genius. And with us has been Brandon Dennis, Director of Operations, and Dave Krauthamer, Co-Founder and CEO of QSecure. Thank you to you both.
Thank you, gentlemen. Always you.
Always you.
And we'll see, indeed, we'll see you next week on Last Week in Quantum.
Awesome.